Taylor, the official hypothetical showgirl in question. This is something we've never done before, this whole thing where we get together in movie theaters for the first weekend of an album release, and I get to show you things that I am so proud of, that I've been working really hard on, and just trying to surprise you guys with. So mainly, we've got the music video for The Fate of Ophelia. This is a music video I'm just so excited about for so many reasons. One of the reasons is that we got everybody back together from the Eras tour. All of the performers that you saw on that stage are back in this music video, as well as so many of the people who worked behind the scenes to create the Eras tour. And it was amazing getting to see everybody come back together, which you're gonna get to witness in some of the behind the scenes content that we've gotten ready for you guys, because I wanted to show you what we made and then kind of show you a little bit about how we made it. We've also got all of the lyric videos for this album, and nobody's seen those before. So I'd love to also take you through sort of a journey of what inspired the songs. Do a little cut by cut sort of inspiration of where these songs started, and then you'll get to hear where they ended up. So I really appreciate you guys wanting to be here for this. It's such an electrifying, exciting time, and I just am so happy that we could all be together for it. So thank you for being here. I hope you guys have a blast. I hope you sing along. I hope that you enjoy this brand new music video that I'm about to play for you in this theater right now. Sort of it's almost like a sort of half cosplay, half singing from your own perspective, right? Like, it's got to do with fame, attention, love, notoriety, anxiety that this isn't gonna be forever, and how heartbroken would you be then? And so the first line that I came up with was, "I cry my eyes violet," Elizabeth Taylor. And like, from that point on, I was just like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with this song. And I kind of wanted to just tell a story that referenced some of the cool things about her life, but that also are parallel to mine. And I use details from her life, but the feelings of what it kind of conveys are things I've absolutely experienced time and time again. And we really went in on this track. Like, the production of this is something that I'm so proud of, because it's equally luxurious and feminine, and then goes really hard and really tough in the chorus. And yeah, it's just one of my favorite songs. Opalite is a song that that word was something I wrote down just because I thought it was beautiful, and came back to it when we were writing to this really like infectious, hooky track. And Opalite is man-made opal. So I've always loved opals. My mom has always loved opals. It's kind of like our thing, one of our many things. And yeah, I loved the metaphor of like a man-made opal, and like you also had to like make your own happiness in your life. You had to get yourself through some difficult times to get to the positive place you're in now. I really loved the idea that the sort of man-made gemstone jewel is also a metaphor for your own choosing your own path to happiness, making it yourself. It was man-made. It didn't just happen to you. You had to fight for it, you had to work for it, you had to earn it. Father Figure is a song that I love so much. It's got an interpolation of a partial line from a George Michael song in it. And I've always loved alliterations. Father figure, you know, two words with the same, start with the same letter, but I've also always loved that song and that line specifically because I've always just thought like that line in the context of the George Michael song is romantic. It's about, you know, being in love with someone, but also, you know, they look up to you as a mentor or whatever, that kind of father figure relationship. I always thought it could be cool to use the line, "I'll be your father figure," as a creative writing prompt and turn it into a story about power and a story about a young ingenue and their mentor and the way that that relationship can change over time and betrayal and wit and cunning and cleverness and strategy, and essentially it ends up in a who's gonna win situation, who's gonna outplay the other, who's gonna outfox the other. And I love that song because I can relate to both characters in certain parts of the song. So it was really amazing reaching out to George Michael's estate. We reached out to his close family friend and his family, and just made sure that everything was okay before we ever did anything. So it was amazing to have the okay and to keep them in the mix and keep them abreast of everything that was going on, because I know how sacred songwriting is, and it's really important to just make sure that you honor that when someone else has written something so brilliant. Track 5 is a song called Eldest Daughter, which is a concept I've always been fascinated by. I am the eldest daughter in my family. And you talk to other eldest daughters of their family, and you kind of somehow usually have a very similar experience with the world and with fear and with feeling like you have to sort of do it all, and these kind of issues with like the constant quest for perfectionism, almost to the point where you can get in your own way. And so I have always loved that idea of what is that, what is it that makes that specific combination of character traits, and then at the same time, I also am very fascinated by the culture we live in, how people have always wanted to look cool, and people have always wanted to look sexy and powerful and unbothered and busy and like they don't need or want anything. It's almost like the opposite of those things would be being like sincere on the internet, because that would seem needy, and nobody wants to be needy on the internet. It's not a place for that. So I've kind of combined all of those ideas and put it into a song that kind of unmasks all the facades we put in front of ourselves, and just says like, yeah, I'm like not all those things that we aspire to be culturally, and that we're told we have to be in order to like find love. You have to act like you never wanted it in the first place. And like soft, like being like allowing yourself to be like soft and sincere, and allowing yourself to admit that you do actually maybe need somebody. The song Ruin the Friendship is a song that I wrote about reminiscing back on high school. Like high school, I obviously used to write about high school all the time. I haven't written about it in a very long time, but sometimes I will. Like sometimes on Folklore, I'll just be like, oh wow, like, that feeling when it's August, you're like, meet me behind the mall and you'll cancel your plans, but I love to kind of go back into that mode now that I have years that have passed since that experience. And I was having the very specific thought of like, you just think that everything is so intense and everything will just ruin everything if you put one foot out of line, right? And you don't want to tell this person that you have feelings for them, because that might ruin the friendship, and God knows what would happen if that happened. And I kind of was sitting there thinking like, what, like it would have been fine. Like it would have been fine to take chances that I didn't take. I'll never know. Maybe it would have been horrible. Maybe none of this would have happened. But I was always just so like disciplined about things in high school. And like, I think this song is an exploration of like, what if you would have just like told the person that you were just friends with that you had a thing for them? Like what would have happened? And how at least you would know. So it was exploring that idea of like, was it so consequential? Would it have been so crazy if you were younger and you just like took some chances that you didn't take? Like that, and that really made way for this story that was inspired by several, different people I knew in high school who either went through this or you know, on both sides of it. It was an amalgamation of different characters that I'd seen throughout my life. And I'm really proud of it. It's very wistful. It's very nostalgic. Wood is a song about superstitions, very popular superstitions. Knocking on wood, black cats, stepping on a crack, and things like that. The song Canceled is a song that's sort of a tongue-in-cheek glimpse at sort of social outrage that everybody goes through now. It's not just like if you're a public figure type whatever. It's like people gossiping about you in your town, negative comments that you read on your Instagram. Like, you can literally feel canceled by any sort of social backlash that you get. And I've been through a lot of sort of discussion about my everything that happens in my life and everything I do and everything I say. And so I tend to, like, first of all, anytime like people get backlash, I tend to get to be the person they reach out to. So it's very funny because it's just sort of like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, somebody told me that you got in trouble for making that joke. Hey, yeah, how are you doing? It's gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. You wanna go to lunch? Yeah, it's fine. And I don't know, I kind of wanted to write a song about how you can become wiser for it and how you can become sharper and you can like, I definitely judge people a lot less now that I've been kind of under the microscope for so long. I just judge people based on who I know them to be, their actions. Not like some sort of general consensus where people are like, step away, they're radioactive. I'm just like, not gonna do that. I'm gonna do that if somebody proves that they're not a good. Honey is one of the first songs that we made for this record, and it's when we knew we were really going into new territory because it just feels different than things that we've made before, and it just kind of was the first song that made us feel like, oh, like this is a whole new album. This is, yes, like let's follow this. I got the idea for the lyric based on the idea that the only ever the times I've been called like honey in my life have been when people are like, no, you can't pull that off, honey. I wouldn't try that, honey. And it's like kind of done in this sort of passive aggressive, evil, critical way sometimes. But if somebody calls you honey sincerely, turns out it's awesome and feels great. And so I take a lot of those sort of pet names that sometimes in culture become sort of weaponized, like, not a good look, sweetheart, right? Like that feels so different than someone being like actually calling you sweetheart and being nice about it. And so it's kind of about having had experiences in the past that were cynical and cold and like mean, and then somebody coming into your life and repurposing those same exact words and turning them sweet, and how good that feels. The Life of a Showgirl is the album closer, and it follows the story of sort of this fictional showgirl character named Kitty, who my character went to go see do a performance, and she was so absolutely mesmerizing that it made me want to do it. And then I go and I meet her and give her a bouquet of flowers, and she like, instead of just being like fake, she like has this moment of realness with me where she's like, you don't want to do this. Like this is really hard, it's really rough, people take advantage of you, you don't, like, you seem so sweet, do anything else. And you know, I've had so many people try to give me that warning. Anybody who's ever made it in music has had a lot of people give them that warning. It's something that is very prevalent. People just trying to warn you that it's not all like flowers and like magic. There's a lot else that you have to endure. But the song kind of tells the story of being inspired by someone and then being warned by them, and do you choose to take that advice or not? one of my favorite things about the song is that when we were writing it, we finished it, and I was like, I just kind of was like, I want Sabrina to sing on this so bad, because she is someone who, she's a friend of mine, she's one of my favorite artists, she's been the opener for the Eras tour, but she's also really well equipped for this career. Like, she is so good at moving through backlash or criticism or people just being unfair to her or picking her apart. Like, she has the temperament to like pivot and use it as fuel. And so because that's kind of what the song was about, I was like, oh, I want to see if she would be up for this, because I really feel like she's got the same mentality as what this song sings about, like having this like love for it and like a love for the game that overrides how hard this can be. And she was like, are you kidding? I'm dead. Yes, of course. Like, been waiting, like, thought you never asked. Like, just had the most wonderful immediate response to it. And then when she was on tour in Sweden, she took her days off and went and recorded it. And that is a showgirl for you. I have so much to thank you guys for. Mostly the fact that this album was completely inspired by the most incredible time in my life. That was so exciting because you made the Eras tour what it was. The way that that tour felt, the way that it just kind of lit up my whole life was such a through line of making this music. And so thank you for being that unknowing inspiration behind the scenes. I was internalizing all of that love and putting it into that record. And now it's out. So I'm so happy that you wanted to celebrate that, and thank you for being so supportive and showing up as you have done for so many years. I could do absolutely none of this without you. And just wishing you all the best on your day. Have a great weekend. Love you very much.